وهو العزيز الغفور ইরশাদ হচ্ছে তিনি অতি সুমহান, যার নিয়ন্ত্রণে চলছে সর্বময় কর্তৃত্ব। তিনি সম্পূর্ণ ক্ষমতাবান। তিনি সৃষ্টি করেছেন মৃত্যু এবং জীবন তোমাদের মধ্যে কর্মের দিক থেকে কে উত্তম তা পরীক্ষা করার জন্য। নিশ্চয়ই তিনি মহাপ্রতাপশালী ও ক্ষমাশীল। আল্লাহুম্মা আমিন। রব্বানা যালামনা আনফুসানা ওয়া ইল্লাম তাগফির লানা ওয়া তারহামনা লানাকুনান্না মিনাল খাসিরিন। আয় রব্বুল আলামিন, করোনা ভাইরাসের প্রাদুর্ভাবে সারা বিশ্ব যখন বিপর্যস্ত, ঠিক এমনি একটি সময়ে আমরা আপনার আশ্রয় প্রার্থনা করছি। আপনি আমাদেরকে আশ্রয় প্রদান করুন। আয় আল্লাহ, যারা ইতিমধ্যে করোনা ভাইরাসে আক্রান্ত হয়ে মৃত্যুবরণ করেছে, আমাদের মধ্যে সাবেক ডেপুটি স্পিকার প্রফেসর আলী আশরাফ, আমাদের ঢাকা চেম্বারের সাবেক পরিচালক, উনি সহ আরো যারা করোনা ভাইরাসে আক্রান্ত হয়ে মৃত্যুবরণ করেছে, আমরা তাদের রূহের মাগফিরাত কামনা করছি। আল্লাহ, আপনি তাদেরকে ক্ষমা করে দিন। আয় আল্লাহ, আমাদের মধ্যে যারা আক্রান্ত আছে আপনি তাদেরকে সুস্থ করে দিন। আয় আল্লাহ, আমরা যারা সুস্থ আছি আমাদেরকে আপনি সুস্থ রাখুন। আয় আল্লাহ, ডিসিসিআই এর সাথে যারা জড়িত, আজকের এই ওয়েবিনারের সাথে যারা জড়িত, আমাদের প্রত্যেককে আপনি ক্ষমা করে দিন। আয় আল্লাহ, আমাদের আগামী দিনের পথ চলা সহজ করে দিন। আমিন আমিন বিরহমাতিকা ইয়া আরহামার রাহিম।
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's chief guest, Honorable Khalid Mahmood Chaudhary MP, Honorable State Minister, Ministry of Shipping, Government of Bangladesh. Our special guests, Mr. Shafil Islam Mohiuddin, and former President of FPCCI, and Mr. Kabir bin Anwar, the Honorable Senior Secretary, Ministry of Water Resources, will join us shortly as well. To our keynote speaker, Dr. Ainun Nishad, Professor Emeritus, BRAC University. Distinguished panelists, my colleagues in DCCI and friends from the print and electronic media, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good morning to all of you. I'd like to welcome you all to the webinar on sustainable river dredging challenges and the way forward, organized by DCCI. And we are, of course, thankful to the chief guest, the special guest, and distinguished discussants for their kind presence despite their busy engagements. Honorable guests, Bangladesh is a riverine country, as the largest network in the world with 700 rivers, including tributaries as well as distributaries. Waterways play a diverse role for the economy of Bangladesh. As you know, that many ancient civilizations, like the Nile River Valley, the Tigris, Euphrates River Valley, they were built back because of the importance of rivers. The rivers in Bangladesh are reduced, due to siltation, stream flow reduction in cross-boundary flow, and that actually affect the waterways as the cheapest mode of transportation, as we all know. Inland water transport also has a great economic impact, and a significant number of people living in the rural areas still has limited access to road transport and are very dependent on inland water transport services. The households which have access to river transport is about 25.1%, while only 37% of the rural households live within 2 kilometers of all-season road. Now, although the government has taken a number of initiatives on capital dredging under the Dredging Master Plan to bring navigability to the 10,000 international waterways, but most of them actually has brought insignificant results. Excavation of 470 kilometers of river routes under Bangladesh-India River Protocol has already begun. Many of us are aware of that, and it is also important to monitor the execution process properly through real-time monitoring system to maintain, which is under consideration of government. In this regard, before planning any dredging work, it should be commensurate with land reclamation and land development to get the best possible outcome. And also to ensure sustainable development of waterway, the national budget needs to rationalize import duty, which is much needed to be addressed, the VAT as well as the AIT to reduce total tax incidence on import of heavy dredging machinery, and also bring river dredging program into fast-track development projects with larger waterway infrastructure budget. Private and foreign investment also needs to be encouraged with more fiscal and policy incentives for bringing the state-of-the-art technology into Bangladesh. And of course, we need to provide projects with organizations equipped with proper planning, monitoring, evaluation, and capacity, along with synchronized multiple mega dredging schemes for tackling this declining trend in the navigability of our waterways. So the projects actually has to be result oriented, including the Delta Plan 2100, which is quite a large initiative of this government. So, ladies and gentlemen, before wrapping up, I would like to keep it very short. I want to thank all of you distinguished guests, our chief guests and special guests, for joining this timely occasion, and your valued and thoughtful remarks, which will be shared on the light of the presentation by our keynote speaker, Professor Ainun Nishad, will actually add new dimensions to the sustainable river dredging in Bangladesh, restoring the heritage of waterways as the enabler of the future economic trajectory. Thank you very much for your patience at this for your time. At this point of time, I would humbly request the keynote presenter to make his remarks. Sir, the floor is yours.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. And I feel it, I'm honored to be invited to speak before this August gathering. I think I have put my presentation in show mode and hope you can see it. I will use a few slides to make my points, but I start by recalling my own experience as a graduate student many years back, 45 years back, when I was in Glasgow, a city located on the banks of River Clyde. The proud Scotchmen boast that God has created the earth, the mountains and the hills and the plains and the meadows, the lochs and rivers. In Gaelic or in Scottish, they pronounce Loch Lomond, which supplies drinking water to Glasgow city untreated, but it is a lake. But the engineers of Scotland has engineered the Clyde and made it a great river. In the 17th century, up to 17th century, Clyde was getting shallower by siltation. And at that time, during the lean period, the people could walk across the river. It was so shallow. Horse-drawn carriages could cross the river. They decided to dredge the river. Three names of three major engineers or great engineers are recorded who had decided that it could be deepened, it could be made navigable to the center of the city. And thus the Clyde was born. It was a small river, of course with tidal effect, and the main port was at a place called Port Glasgow, which is about, I think, 50 kilometers or 50 miles from the Glasgow city. But soon the Glasgow became the main port, and also it became the center for major shipbuilding industry. I have actually, in my academic program, the faculty member who took a course on dredging methodology had published a book on the history of River Clyde, and he had shown series of photographs or sketches taken in the 17th century onwards to show the river. I had seen myself how the river could be crossed by people on horse-drawn carriage and other things. They went for all kind of trials to push it deeper. They used to remove the sand and rock manually. Soon came horse-drawn tow lines that would dig out the sediment and remove the rocks from the riverbed. And then came the mechanical dredgers of various designs. And records show that in 1872, a volume of 10 million meter cube was dredged, which was a big volume in those days. Nowadays, the large dredgers, as for example, 2 such dredgers were employed in construction of the Padma Bridge, of which I am deeply involved, has very high capacity. But dredging operation is not easy. One of the reasons for delay in completion of the Padma Bridge is still a lot of work has to be done on the river training work, is failure of the dredging work to deliver the work according to design. I will come to you in a few minutes. The dredgers known as J07 and J08 are of very large capacity. They were needed to clear the volume of sediment that had to be removed. But the Scottish engineers, I have to say, utter the word Scottish engineers because those Scotsmen are very proud. If you say the British engineers, they get upset. Pride is a very important thing. They paid attention to the process of natural scouring power of the river by managing the upper watershed and guiding the river channel. Now, these 2 words are very important for me. Think of this thinking process 300 years back. The river must be able to carry the sediment it is getting. And I would say, and maybe I would be repeating it 5-6 times, in Bangladesh, most of the engineers, I'm an engineer myself, so I can accuse the engineers, most of the bureaucrats, most of the policymakers do not understand that a river carries not only water or a discharge, but it also carries a sediment. And there must be a balance between the sediment load and the river and the discharge. Since then, Glasgow has become a major shipbuilding center. During the Second World War, many of the large vessels were constructed in Glasgow city. In fact, I live very close to those shipbuilding area and they're in a derelict condition. And they have been removed and a new convention center has come up where there will be a big event in November this year. And by the 18th century, it became an industrial hub and Port Glasgow was moved to Glasgow city in various, all along on both banks of the river. Mississippi River has been dredged extensively. Many ports have been developed through dredging. And about 4 or 5 years back, I had the privilege of visiting Tianjin port in China. This is one of the 4 mega cities of China: Beijing, Chongqing, Shanghai, and Tianjin. The Tianjin port 20 years back had a draft of hardly 2 to 3 meters. And now it has a depth draft of 25 plus 30 meters, a hub for major ships to come in and unload their cargo. And it has been planned through a master plan that this is a spot where the tourist vessels should come in, the large vessels carrying thousands of tourists and major export and import point. So main goal for dredging has been all over the world: channel maintenance, channel deepening, and channel management, land reclamation, port development of new navigational routes, etc. New routes have been developed in the world where there was no channel. As for example, the Suez Canal is a result of the dredging operation. And we need to understand the 2 types of dredging, and I'm sure those who are listening today, they are very much aware of these 2 types of dredging. One is maintenance dredging, the other one is capital dredging. Now, maintenance dredging is the periodic removal of shoals or sediment from existing navigational channel, develop the berths, swing moorings, etc., in order to maintain an appropriate safe depth of water for navigation and construction or operational purpose. We have to do maintenance dredging for Chittagong and Mongla. And I don't know why the government is pushing for Paira Port, because there the maintenance dredging would be of greater order compared to Chittagong and Mongla. Maintenance dredging is necessary. Most of the ports maintain their own dredger fleet to carry out the maintenance dredging. Mongla and Chittagong has limitation in terms of draft. And here, the location of the port is very important. Mongla is located in a wrong place. Sir Kevin Claude English, one of our gurus in river management, in 1948-49, in writing, advised the government, do not construct the port in Mongla, northern side of the Mongla Channel. Construct it on the southern side. Construct it on the right bank near Joymongol or Joymoni or Bani Shanta. We have located in a wrong location, and therefore the stretch between northern side of Mongla Nala and Chalna gets silted up regularly. So all the infrastructure cannot be fully utilized. And the main vessels come and wait outside. The depth over there is good. Chittagong layout again, because of the bend, Gupta bend and others, the draft cannot be taken more than 7 or 8 meters. The call of the day is to push for larger draft. If you see how Rotterdam port has been developed by the Dutch in partnership with the Belgians, that is where the large vessels can come in. The other type of dredging is capital dredging. Capital dredging means removal of the sediment to create a new or expand existing navigational channel, berthing pockets, turning basin to establish new dredge design level. This concept of turning basin is very important. I learned about it in my work for the Padma Bridge. When we decided to shift the ferry ghat from to Bangla Bazar, we had to design a turning basin. Otherwise, the location could not operate as a good for the small launches that we have in that location. It involves removals and relocation of natural, previously undisturbed sea or river channel bed to increase water depth. Now, for capital dredging, location of the port is very, very important. We need to know what is the volume of sediment that would be coming to that particular point. In construction of the Jamuna Bridge, we had closed a major channel to create a still water on the both sides of the river so that we can construct the glide bunds. And in fact, south of the Bhuapur point, we had planned a small river port that could be effectively utilized. In case of Padma Bridge, the river would swing on both sides, and we had decided to make provision so that a port can be designed on the Faridpur side or Madaripur side with bollards and all kind of infrastructure that would be needed. They have not been constructed as of today. So we come to the agenda of today, sustainability and dredging. Over the time, the definition of sustainable development has evolved to capture a more holistic approach, linking the 3 dimensions of sustainable development: economic development or economic aspect, social inclusion, and environmental sustainability. The principle of sustainability are the foundation of what this concept represents. Therefore, sustainability is made up of three pillars: the economic consideration, the society, and environment. And now these principles are informally used as profit, people, and planet. Now, economy is very important. We do dredging and it gets silted up in 2, 3, 5 years. There is no economy. The economy flies out of the window. And that is the situation of current capital dredging that is being done in Bangladesh. 3 years, 5 years back, I have seen huge amount of dredging being done in the Jamuna River, opposite to Shirazganj and Shariakandi and Kajipur. And I assume all have been silted up because no consideration of economy or environment was done. And we just wanted to remove the silt without looking into sustainability issue. I'm using very harsh words to say that the dredging should be done in a sustainable manner so that it delivers benefit. The government has huge money does not mean that it is going to spend, it should spend that money in a manner which should not result in a sustainable operation. The society must benefit from the dredging operation. The economy of it should be looked into, and management of the river system is definitely an important point from societal point of view, but then environmental issues are very important. Because a river does not carry water only, it carries life, it carries fish, it carries aquatic animals. What happens to them? We need to look into that. Now, Bangladesh is a land of river, and this river carries huge volume of water as well as huge volume of sediment that comes from the upper area. The current Bangladesh, maybe over 10,000 years, 20,000 years ago, was part of the Bay of Bengal. What is now Borguna and Potuakhali and Satkhira and other areas was part of the sea hardly 5,000, 7,000 years back. It has been created by the silt and the sediment. But the sediment is not getting deposited anymore because the sediment is carried into deep sea through the swatch of no ground located south of Mongla port or south of the Mongla area. I think we can take steps to capture some of the sediment and get huge land. What is the volume of water? It's about 1 trillion meter cube. It's second to Amazon, the highest discharge that is carried out by our rivers. And sediment load is equal to about 1 billion ton. 30, 40 years back, we used to say it is to carry 2 billion tons. 2 billion tons mean you create an island of the size of Hatia every year, if we could deposit. We made some steps in the 50s and 60s, and we constructed 2 cross dams across Bamni River, which was a channel of the Meghna. And now we have 3 new thanas out of it: Subarnachar, Kobirhat, and part of Maizdi or Sodor Thana. So as I said, I will repeat, I'm repeating. A river carries both discharge, water, and sediment load. But we must understand, a river attempts to attain a balance among discharge, sediment load, and sediment characteristics, along with the longitudinal slope. These 4 parameters are very important. And the cross-sectional geometry of a channel is represented by the depth, width, longitudinal slope, and directly related to the dominant discharge and channel pattern. You leave the Jamuna, come back after 10,000 years, you will find a meandering river in place of a braided river, because the river is trying to go for a meandering channel which is the most smooth form of a river. Any force to change one of these parameters that I just mentioned is bound to influence on other parameters. If we can force the river to reduce its width, it will increase its depth. And we notice it regularly. North of Shirazganj, the Jamuna is about 14, 13, 14, 15 kilometer wide. It was hardly 3 kilometer wide in 1950s. It has widened because we did not take care of the river. The discharge of the Brahmaputra or Jamuna and the discharge of Ganga, which both of them, they meet at Aricha, and it flows further south by the name of Podda. You go to Mawa or the Podda bridge side, this discharge of the two mighty rivers is contained within a width of 2 to 3 kilometers. So Podda at Rajshahi has maybe 6 kilometers, and Jamuna at Shirazganj maybe has 14 kilometers. So the discharge carried by a river with 6 plus 14 equal to 20 kilometers is carried by a channel of 4 kilometers near Mawa. Please understand there is relationship between the width and the depth and the sediment load and the sediment size and the longitudinal slope, and which is controlled by the dominant discharge. Dominant discharge is the bankful discharge. And alluvial rivers reach bankful discharge almost every 2 years or every 3 years. And when the chores go underwater, I'm not surprised because that is the norm. There was flood last year, the chores went underwater. This year, it may not rise to that level. But next year, possibly all the chores should go underwater. So we need to understand the river mechanics and the river dynamics. Do you understand it? My point is no. Many engineers would be upset when I say, we do not understand. A river could be tidal, a river could be non-tidal. In Buet, which is one of the premier organizations, and Duet and Kuwait and Ruet, they have started teaching tidal hydraulics very recently. When I was a student, we did not study the tidal hydraulics. We do not understand the tidal flow. All the water board engineers do their coastal engineering project. I hope Mr. Kabir bin Anwar, Honorable Secretary, is listening to me. Please note, engineers of water board, which I was one of them, I started my professional career as an assistant engineer of water board, do not understand tidal hydraulics and sediment behavior. You see, these are the dry season flow of the river. On the top is the, shall I say, the braided river, which you can see. So, dredging in Bangladesh, we did not pay attention to the behavior of the river or stability of the river or well-being of the river till recent time. And I can spot 2016 is the date when government of Bangladesh decided to go for revitalization and resuscitation of the rivers of the country through dredging and re-excavation of rivers and canals. Prior to that, all dredging operation was maintenance dredging. Capital dredging was not done. And the country, under the influence of multilateral donors, mainly World Bank, they're the guilty party, we paid attention to the road network. It's good, it is needed. But the amount of investment that has gone for road construction and it is going for maintenance of the road, that is where our main money goes. Dredging or river management is a very new topic. Now it is being proposed that a master plan would be developed, and I understand it is possibly being developed. I have no access, but I searched through the internet, I couldn't find it. But the concept paper on dredging and re-excavation of the river, khals and pond has been released. And it says 3 departments should be responsible: Water Board, IWTA and LGED. And I noted there is no role for public sector. Sorry, role for private sector. I made a mistake. It should be not. But the private sector, in my view, should have a major role in the whole world, because all over the world, the private sector plays the major role in dredging operation. The rivers and khals are to be demarcated in 9 zones. A national committee would be headed by the Senior Secretary, Ministry of Water Resources. It has been formed and I understand is functional. The concept paper is there and they are talking about a 15-year program. I understand they are preparing a manual for dredging operation, how it should be done. And I hope that that would take care of the concern that I'm going to raise today. IWTA would be responsible for river dredging, especially for navigational route. And this takes a very important position because though in Bangladesh, we are paying attention to navigation very recently, but our friendly neighboring country, India, they are pushing for navigation in a big way. Their national river route number 1 connects, starts from Allahabad or even upper area and comes up to Farakka, and number 2 from Bangladesh border in Brahmaputra and goes up to Dhubri and passes through Guwahati and others. And they have their intention of connecting river route number 1 and 2. And that would give us a good opportunity of resuscitating the Podda and the Ganges River or the Brahmaputra and Jamuna. And currently they are developing a navigational hub in Ashuganj for connecting rest of India with the northeastern Bangladesh. The existing navigational channels, if it is continued to be developed by IWTA, I have no problem. But my problem is elsewhere. IWTA does not go for river training works. And as I mentioned, without, I will repeat again, without river training work, dredging operations are going to be totally futile. I'm relatively old person. For future citizen of the country, proper management or proper dredging operation, which should combine river training to enable the rivers to carry the sediment load, deepen it, carry the flow, it is essential. Water Board would be responsible for river dredging, smaller rivers, the navigation route by IWTA, but for other rivers, Water Board and LGED would be responsible for canals and ponds, etc. I have no problem with that. Computer is not responding. Oh. So the objectives of the proposed master plan, as I could find from the internet, is to develop a comprehensive river, canal, and pond management. And I would like to add, the government should also consider the excavation of the haors and beels and bowers. I found bowers somewhere, but haors, they need to be re-excavated also. And the master plan would be for both capital dredging and maintenance dredging, channel stabilization and river training. And I would expect in the river training work, the river would be given proper cross-section, not reduce it too much, but make the river carry the sediment. Navigation routes, re-excavation plan. Spoil management is a big issue. It is being dumped without any planning right today. For maintenance dredging, I'm shocked when the spoils are dumped without any planning. We dredge on the left side of the river, dump it on the right side, and then we go to the right side of the river and then dump it on the left side. I've said on television, along with the predecessor of the honorable minister who is present, and answer was, what other options that we have? We have to think about proper management of the spoil that is generated through dredging operation. We need to increase the dry season availability of the rivers and canals and ponds to store water. And therefore, the excavation of the khals and beams are very important. Southern part of Bangladesh, Satkhira, Bagerhat, and Khulna and Borguna, there is no fresh water available today. But inside the polders in that area, there is huge area which is khash land, which has been illegally occupied by powerful people. And Prime Minister has instructed the local administration to excavate those areas and prepare storage, freshwater storage ponds. You see, the Mongla town now receives fresh water through 3 freshwater reservoirs that they have created. Possibly rainwater harvesting is the only solution, and along with that, environment management plan is a big issue. So the feasibility study would be completed under the master plan, lot of feasibility study, and this is a very good point. Just do not go for dredging because you have dredgers. Special emphasis should be given to maintenance dredging for river management. Dredge spoil disposal should be placed in a safe and separate location. I saw the report of the Kalni Kushiara dredging done by ADB, where they wanted to use the spoil to raise the land to take them above the flood water, but this should be done judiciously. Water Board is expected to be the lead implementing and coordinating agency. Again, I would say plan first and then go for execution or action, which is not happening. We need skilled manpower and technical financial cooperation may be sought for development partners. Let me give you one example where we lack capacity. Both Water Board and IWT are buying lots of dredgers. What is the capacity or academic qualification of the dredger masters? Class 8. In Podda Bridge and also in Jamuna Bridge operation, I looked through the dredger operation. The dredger operators were highly trained, capable people. The Chinese had sent their dredger masters to the Netherlands for their capacity building. Even then they failed. And then the Dutch engineers had to come retrain the dredger masters who are master's degree holder. And then we are proceeding with the dredging operation in the Podda Bridge. Huge cost we are talking about. You see the grand total and so many zeros after crore of taka. So this is the estimate. So the project cost, including river dredging cost, re-excavation cost, cost of dredger, cost of land, and land is expensive, and cost of river training. And river training is going to be expensive. We have not done any major river training work, excepting for few infrastructure here and there. So what are the challenges? We appreciate the move of the government towards revitalization of the river, khal and pond, Bill and Howl. Now, I would cut a little bit of joke with you. In Chittagong, we do not know what is a river. All the khals in Chittagong are rivers to me. Chaktai Khal is Chaktai River. It's problem of language. And this translates into problem into action. Ponds, Bill, Haur, and Baur, and we urge upon authorities to adopt sustainable approach. Don't go and keep on dredging every 3 years or 5 years, make them sustainable. The current practice of dredging operation, both capital and maintenance, needs to be evaluated, academically examined, and then we should go for next steps, that this should be done urgently. Some of the issues are management of spoil, sediment management, including watershed management. Maybe you need to go and talk to our neighbor who is the upper riparian. And then we have one problem. When you talk about a river, we talk about Jamuna and Padma. No, we have very small river, we have a small river, we have medium-sized river, we have large river, and then we have very large river which does not fall under any category. So don't think of Jamuna and Padma as the river of Bangladesh. The large rivers are Tista, Dharola, and Dudhkumar, and Shurma, and Kushiar. And there are hundreds of medium-sized rivers. What is a river? A natural flow. 700. Add 2 zeros after that. That's the number of rivers. In Chittagong hill tracts, I can identify 1,000 rivers because each of the Chora is a river to me. In Sylhet, there would be few thousand rivers, few hundred rivers. Each of the river has to be managed and their watershed must be managed. Go to the Mymensingh part, Chillakhali. The river is hardly identified because it has been totally silted up. So if we want to revitalize all the rivers of the country, we have a very, very big task. And we must understand river response and stability of the river bank. As I said, you change certain parameter, it will impact other parameter. But we can play with them. Go for environmental impact assessment. Find out the impact on benthic flora and fauna. Recently, river training work was about to be done on the a river in Chittagong, and the Honorable Secretary stopped it because the river training was killing the aquatic ecosystem, including the breeding ground of the fish. So these are the 4 points. My 5th point is timing of dredging, considering fish breeding season, and location of dredging, considering the fish grounds. The local terms are Duar. There is a place called Alomer Duar in Sunamgarh, which is famous for breeding of chitol mas, chitala, the knife fish. Coals in the Jamuna, in front of the chores, there are deep pockets which are known as coal. We should explore the potential of land recovery from river by closing some of the channel using crossbar. And this could be taken under the private-public partnership. Think of the Brahmaputra, which is say 15 kilometer or 16 kilometer wide. It could very well be reduced to 5 kilometers. Okay, give us 7 kilometers. So 7 multiplied by 300, we are talking about 210 square kilometers of land. And that could be retrieved or recovered from the river by entrepreneurs, give it to them. Accrete land in the coastal belt by construction of cross dam, and we have experience of a number of them. And take it under PPPP, which is being done in the Netherlands. Rizwan mentioned about Delta Plan. Delta Plan is modeled after the Dutch Delta Plan. And there, accretion of the land and extension of the sand, sandbar is being done by PPP, private-public partnership. The land is shared by them. Government doesn't have to pay the capital cost. If the private sector sees proper financial benefit or economic benefit, they would go for it. And my 8th point is interesting. We have sand dredging in river, and we read in newspaper the government is challenging the local private operators for the dredging work, and they are being arrested and their equipments are being seized. Why? Because they do not follow any rule or any guideline. But we do have guideline. And this is considered as Balu Mahal, which is managed by the Revenue Department. The private dredgers must be trained on sustainability issue, where to dredge it, where to collect the sediment. Maldives wants to buy sediment from Bangladesh. Singapore wants to buy sediment, but not for sand, but for mineral resources, which I understand is under serious consideration by the government. We could export sand. Sand, I have seen in China, sand collection is done by private operators based on the formula or approach given by the government, where the stability of the river is not challenged. So this is an area we need to do a lot of work. The desilting operation and application of mechanical equipment such as excavators and drag lines must be evaluated. When we talk about dredger, we think of the mechanical dredgers in Jamuna and Brahmaputra. Why? We have, even accepting reservoirs number 700 large and medium rivers and small rivers, they should be freed from the sediment load. And the way dredging operation is going on in the country, they are killing the rivers. We are creating a channel in the middle of the river, maybe 1/3 of the river. In the process, we are leaving 2/3 for the powerful people to capture. Should dredger be an operation in public sector only? Can opportunities for private-public partnership be explored? Sand extraction, land recovery, land accretion, and then subsequent land reclamation. So in Bangladesh, when we say land reclamation, we mean land accretion. Converting accreted land into a productive land is land accretion, land reclamation, and that has to be done. We do not do it. We can pick up the Dutch experience from there, and they are ready to help us. I had the privilege of being an adjunct professor at IHE Delft, where they teach this particular subject in detail, and we have many graduates from IHE Delft in Bangladesh. So we need to improve our capacity. For management of dredgers and dredging operation, we need to improve our human capital, go for equipment and software. Most of the newly imported dredgers are highly sophisticated based on computer software. Maybe we can buy it, but we can develop proper capable person. We need to push for monitoring and impact evaluation of the dredging operation. We do dredging, but what is the impact? How does the river react to it? That should be worked out. And environmental impact assessment, which is by law of 1995, is compulsory. And the Constitution, Article 18A, makes it an essential element. To sum up, dredging and desiltation work is essential. We have neglected it. That led to deterioration of the river system. Now we need major investment to revitalize them. Only dredging works without due attention to steps taken to make the river capable of carrying the sediment load downstream will not be sustainable. We need to combine the two. River training and dredging operation must be jointly planned and implemented, and I note the Ministry of Water Resources has been mandated to do that. Do you understand the behavior of the river? Do we have capacity to design and implement projects in Bangladesh? Answer is yes. We have capable institutions. I know the chief of IWM would be talking as a designated discussant, and CGIS and IWFM in Buet has lots of capacity. If we don't have capacity, we must build the capacity. Do we have capacity to monitor the impact, both beneficial and disbenefits from dredging operation? We do not do it. We need to do it. For that, we need survey equipment. The survey equipment that are used in the Padma Bridge is our local people who are doing it. The Chinese engineers have trained them. Judicial disposal of dredge spoil could support recovery of land from river. Not everywhere, but in selected location. Unplanned actions, as we are doing now, will negate the benefit of dredging operation. Land acquisition and in coastal area through construction of cross dam may be taken up on priority basis, and rules and guidelines for sand dredging should be taken up urgently. The private sector may be effectively engaged in dredging activities. They should not be seen as a contractor. They should be seen as development partners also. And in the process, preparation of contract document as well as their execution is challenging, often results in contentious issues. Dredging operation leads to many disputes because the contract has to be properly understood. Capacity in construction management and as well as quantitative survey must be attained. People who are involved in Padma Bridge and Jamuna Bridge construction are very well versed with the contractual aspect of dredging operation. With that, let me say thank you very much for your kind patience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Anand Nishat, for your in-depth explanation of the situation in the industry. That was a long and detailed 40-minute plus presentation. I believe we have a lot to highlight from there. At this point of time, I would like to bring in some of our designated discussants today. At the very outset, I would like to request the Vice President of PSA, International Singapore, Robert Hennessy, is here with us today, the Head of Civil Engineering. And before that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our special guest, Mr. Shafil Islam Mohyuddin MP, and our Honorable and very dear Senior Secretary, Mr. Kabir bin Anwar. He has joined from his site, as I can see. So needless to mention, thank you for joining us, sir, despite your busy schedule. And I know that Mohyuddin Bhai is here with us as well. He's joined us from London at almost 7 in the morning. Thank you, Mohyuddin Bhai, and we will come back to you shortly. Thank you for joining us. Let me bring in Mr. Robert Hennessy from PSA. Sir, over to you.
I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, that's great. Thanks. Well, good morning, everybody. Honourable Minister of State for Shipping, Mr. Chowdhury, and special guests, and Professor Nishat, and distinguished panelists and participants. First, perhaps I could introduce myself and PSA. So I'm the VP for Civil Engineering for PSA, covering our global port developments around the world. Maybe for those of you who don't know PSA, just a quick introduction. PSA is a leading global terminal operator, operating seaports and dry ports around the world. We're present in 50 locations in 26 countries, and we're headquartered in Singapore, where we operate the world's largest container terminal. So PSA, we see ports as instrumental to the growth and economy of countries, and of course, including Bangladesh. And as part of that, we see connectivity as an absolutely key part of the port. So hinterland connectivity, whether it's by road, rail, or river. And with that, a big part of our business is the logistics chain and managing the logistics. So we see that we take a holistic approach to this. I think perhaps to talk a little bit about our role in Bangladesh, we're involved with the government of Bangladesh in developing the Bay Terminal. That's our main interest at the moment, near to Chittagong. I think perhaps just a word on the inland waterway transport. I think the presentation by Professor Nishat was very comprehensive, and as a fellow engineer, I much appreciated a lot of the points that you made. But I think perhaps to highlight one or two items, we think that the network of rivers is obviously a largely untapped asset for Bangladesh, and could offer great hinterland connections direct from ports to inland areas, which otherwise have limited road and rail connectivity. Maybe it's due to remoteness or difficulty in construction in certain areas. So we see the rivers as being a very important part of that. And indeed, we're considering barge capacity as part of our terminal development plans at Bay Terminal. We're taking a look at how that might integrate as well. The benefits, as we see them, are multiple. In addition to bringing transport capacity, we can also look at reduced transport costs, particularly very bulky items or low cost or non-time dependent items. Obviously, removing those large bulky items from roads onto rivers makes a lot of sense from a cost perspective and an environmental perspective. It will reduce the wear and tear and damage on the roads of trucks, and also reduce the impacts of those trucks on the local communities which are alongside those roads. So there's lots of wins to be had from river transportation. I think looking at what we see as important factors to make this successful is that it needs to be reliable and there needs to be adequate capacity. So let's start with the capacity. We need to make sure that we can allow large enough vessels along the rivers to make the thing viable. This then is affected by water depths, river flows, seasonal river flows, of course, and alignment of the rivers. But perhaps on a non-technical perspective, it also requires very good control of the rivers, very good control of the traffic on the rivers, good certification schemes for the vessels. River safety is very important, and if that's to be part of the logistics chain, we see safety is a very big part of the sustainability of that. So certifications, good pilotage, and so on all need to be part of the picture as we see it. I think moving on to sustainability, we see sustainability on a number of levels. One is the business sustainability, knowing that the investment is still going to be there in 10 years or 20 years, making sure that this river transport or links have a long shelf life, can service us for many years to come. That's the first thing. I think the environmental and social sustainability is a very much a growing area, as something PSA takes very seriously, and it's at the core of our business, is to make sure that we have good environmental and social sustainability. And this is being driven more and more across the world, right from consumer level up through companies, export companies, manufacturers, and so on. So we see that as being very important in the development of the river network for navigation. I think Professor Nishak touched on a number of areas, but there's obviously the environment that we all know about, making sure we don't damage fish hatcheries or fisheries, making sure that we control sediments. I think that's already been covered in a lot of detail, so I won't go over it again. But perhaps what I could add to it is that we need to make sure that the contractual environment is in place to allow these river transportation routes to remain sustainable, so that there's good government oversight, but also perhaps tapping into the expertise of international experts in river control, river modeling, dredging, and so on. And also then building a sustainable capacity within Bangladesh for the maintenance of these rivers in the long term. So I see that as quite an important element, alongside the physical sustainability of environment and the social sustainability, which I think has already been covered in quite a lot of detail. So I think that's where I'd like to leave it. That's a little bit about PSA and our view. We see that the hinterland connectivity and rivers being very important for Bangladesh. Obviously, one of the world's greatest delta systems is going to be challenging. The challenges can be met, but I think with proper planning and tapping into the expertise internationally, building up the capacity in Bangladesh should be achievable. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy. As you mentioned, a very challenging delta in Bangladesh, but with challenges comes opportunities. So of course, there is a big scope for you and many other international experts. At this point of time, let me bring in from the research and academia as well. We have with us the executive director from Institute of Water Modeling, Mr. Abu Saleh Khan. Sir, I would request you to wrap up in 5 minutes because we have already crossed an hour. We would like to bring everyone and hear the views. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Chief Guest, special guests, the chair of this session, my respected sir, who presented in the keynote presentation, the panel discussions, and participants of this webinar. First of all, good afternoon and welcome to my observations on the topic, very important topic that DCCI has taken up for today. I think considering the lot of resources that will be spent by Bangladesh in the coming years for the implementation of the Delta Plan 2100, this step by DCCI is commendable. My respected sir has presented elaborately, so I will not cover those as the time frame given is 5 minutes. I'll just highlight some of the things in addition to what he has said. I think when you are thinking of a river or a canal, you should think on a basin approach. That means that river or canal, the total basin has to be studied and analyzed, and then interventions taken up. So that is a very important factor. And another thing has come up. You see the dredgers previously were not computerized and softwares were not used, but the dredgers of today are highly sophisticated, using softwares for quality control of the dredging. So the dredge operators and including the supervisors have to be trained. Capacity development will play a big role. And in this side, I think the private sector can come up. And we talk about dredging. You see, we find out that the Planning Commission of Bangladesh says that any projects taken, 50% dredging is required. I do not agree to that notion. I think the requirement should be according to the case-specific needs. If a project is taken and dredging is not required, then dredging should not be taken up. Simple as that. And where dredging is required, total analysis has to be done and the dredging operations taken up. I firmly would like to emphasize what Professor Nisar had said. We have to use intelligent dredging. That is, we have to use stream power. We have extensive big rivers where dredgings are being done, and the stream power of those rivers have to use when the dredging operations are taken up. Now, both the contractors and the agencies requiring dredging should be well conversant with what they want. The type of dredgers that will be necessary for implementation of that dredging project. They have to analyze that first. And when they have to analyze that, they have to know the soil conditions of the dredged section, the transport options, dredging location, water depths and placement. Last but not the least, the economics and the ecological effects. That means total understanding of the problem is required before you make the contract documents and the engagement of the contractors. From my experience, I have seen that Water Development Board engaged a contractor for dredging in the river Turar. Suddenly they find out that their dredgers cannot cut this section because they are finding clay. That means the soil conditions of the stretch should have been evaluated first, and the mechanism for dredging should have been set. We are very happy that the Ministry of Water Resources have understood the large tasks ahead. They have already taken up a project for capacity development through an institutional shape. They are going to set up an institute on the back of the Balu, and hopefully they are planning to train the engineers and the dredger operators and the people who will be engaged in dredging in future. This is a good step forward. And also they have taken up the canal digging programs in the whole country. But I will emphasize that the sustainability issues have to be assessed and determined. And the post-dredging operations has to be evaluated before further dredging is taken up in those areas. I will thank DCCI for inviting me to this very important seminar. I think this can be a starting role for DCCI in future dissemination on this topic and to the other agencies who are involved. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words. Needless to mention, DCCI is at the full disposal of your institution as well as BIWTA, Water Board, and all the ministries. It is our job to promote public-private dialogues and policy promotion for the betterment of the business community. At this point of time, please allow me to bring in a local industrialist, DBL Dredging. Although DBL is known for a large industrial company, but of course, recently in the past decade, they have entered the dredging industry in Bangladesh. So I would like Mr. M.A. Jabbar, Managing Director, to share his views on the local industry and his experience with the business as a whole. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you, Ridwan. Honorable Minister Khalid Mahmood Chaudhary, Honorable Senior Secretary Kabir bin Anwar, Anul Nishad, sir, and all other dignitaries. Very good afternoon. Well, it's a very good opportunity for me to be here as an investor in this sector. And I find this is the DCCI has organized this session in a very timely, very timely. So my observation, we've been in dredging sector is not too long, like 2 years. And same time, the sustainability is a growing issues in the world right now. So I have learned a lot from this session, and definitely always, I know Lisha sir has reflected, I mean, elaborately mentioned things, what is the challenges and what is going on, what we need to do and what. Well, this is a few things that I'm trying to reflect or emphasize, that the trained human resource is a important thing, and also investing in technology is also a good area we can look into it. And I think we need good private sector investor in here, and should have a very good communication with the policymaker and also the ministry and all the organization working on this sector. So the challenges is here, definitely we see the lot of transparency issues in there, and also the planning issues and knowledge sharing with the private sector and the worker who contributed in this sector. So a lot of industry, a lot of this is a survey has been done, and the study has been done, but now is the main issue is implementation. So I think that we all have to work together, and we are looking for more engagement of the private sector in this, and also the NGOs, environment, who works with the environment, and also civil service organizations should be involved. So in coming days, we definitely looking forward to the policymaker to engage the private sector more. And that is like we all should be in the same pace. And I see that sometimes that a lot of information is not being communicated with the sector and the contractors, whatever we call. So then we can all work together in terms of like the equipments we need. Sometimes we see that the tender been published, but equipments is not there. People are looking after here and there. So it's especially on I see the offshore dredging. And this is like this, what I see, policymaker, this should be, this sector, the ministry, and should have a total briefing and strategy 2-3 years, so that we can be equipped, we can train our people, we can bring our equipment, and we can see what really we can work together. So we already have a successful story in the government sector. We can replicate a lot of things there in terms of we have, this is like very recent days, a lot of safety issues and also regulatory issues. And these are the things that we can, definitely we can work. So I think that we will be able to definitely contribute more and we can be successful. So I'm looking forward to see more of engagement private sector and environmental NGOs and civil service societies. So that really that what is our main issue as this moment, Bangladesh is a land of river, and for all the communication for the all sector, we can be routed through the rivers. So it would be economically profitable for the country, and I think it will really have a good example for our water resource ministry for that we can you can be discuss in the international arena. We may be looking forward to more successful and implementation of our dredging. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your inputs. We will definitely, as for your information, we will prepare an outcome report for the Ministry of Shipping as well as the Ministry of Water Resources on the recommendations that come out of today's events after the deliberations of our special guests as well as the chief guests. Before we move on to them, I would like to invite the Honorable Chairman of BIWTA, Commodore Ghulam Sadiq. He's here with us today. Thank you for joining us. May I request you to give us your deliberations?
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. Sir, when I was listening to our Honorable Professor Ainun Nishat, I was trying to master some slides for information and clarification, because he has given us lots of ideas, and in detail his study and his experience he was sharing with us. So I would like to draw some points only. If you could allow me to show the slides, it would be very helpful. I would like to share my screen.
IT, can you assist, please?
Sir, your screen is shareable. Please share.
I can share the screen. Okay. So if the screen is visible.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rizwan, for keeping me or inviting me as panelist in this very august gathering, especially when very experienced and honorable persons are there. I'm very little to talk about this dredging and challenges and way forward. Today's chief guest, Khalid Mahmood Chaudhary, MP, State Minister for Ministry of Shipping. Our special guest, Muhammad Shafiul Islam Mahyuddin, MP, our Honorable Senior Secretary Kabir bin Anwar, Ministry of Water Resources, and special panelists, the participants, Dhaka Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much for the timely arrangement of this seminar. Sir, I would like to emphasize that for every development activity, the most important part is the political will, and the slide shows here the extreme political will which we actually carry. That the first time in political agenda in the election manifesto, our Honorable Prime Minister have put up the highest priority on the water sector. So we are actually following that, and especially under Ministry of Shipping, we are trying hard to do whatever promise that this government has given before they came into power. And rightly, the plans have been made, a lot of master plans, a lot of roadmaps have been made. One of the important one is Delta Plan 2100. And here I just put up some of the bullet points here, that how we are engaging in Delta Plan in the IWT sector. Then our Honorable Professor Ainun Nishat, he was talking about the concept paper which have been generated by Ministry of Water Resources, a dredging master plan concept paper. Actually, we are working along with that. There are 491 rivers, and we are tasked to for reviving 178 or work with 178, and water development 313. Actually, a lot of studies are being taken, and some projects are already underway. And you know that our executive director of IWM is here, and also CEGIS are the partner with us for study and also during the execution phase as consultant. And they are very capable organization, you know, Bangladeshi organization, but they are very capable, I must say. And in many cases, we are taking advice from our expert like Professor Ainun Nishad. Sir, some of the projects that under 10,000 kilometer waterways development, we are already have taken up. The 24 routes this year will be completing. 12 routes we have finished, and 4 river routes. Especially, I must mention here, these are very challenging rivers. Almost those are dying rivers like Old Brahmaputra, Tulai, Punarbhaba, and Dhorla on the North Bengal. So we are really encouraged. I'll show some photographs. We are really have done something here, some improvement here with the help of our consultants, CGIS and IWM. Sir, I already mentioned for the information of Professor Nishad that IWM and CGIS always helping us. They are very capable, and always we do not take up any dredging other than any dredge material disposal plan. Every study has a plan of dredge disposal. Always we cannot materialize it on the field, but we try to do it. Sometimes we go for stakeholder meetings and take points and then go for the dredging. And as I have said, we have finished studies of Borishal Division river routes, Khulna Division river route studies are already completed, and stakeholders meetings are done. Now we are going for the projects. And as Mr. Saleh was talking about the Dredge Training Institute, which is one of the important points that Professor Nishad has pointed out. We are also, we have already got money from the government for establishing that institute, and we are doing it, we are going to establish it in Narayanganj, and our panel of experts has started working with it, and we are calling for consultancy. Definitely we'll take help of CGIS and IWM. The syllabus and the equipment what we need, especially we are going for some simulators also that government has given us also money. I'll go very quickly, sir. Here I would like to emphasize, as the business community is present here, a lot of very emerging and established businessmen are here who depends on carrying their cargo from the industry to the port through road connectivity. But I would like to show some slides here to show you that how important is inland water transportation for your business. And for if we have good water transportation system, the byproduct is flood protection, irrigation, fishery, the irrigation for agriculture, all will come automatically as byproduct. And also lot of land reclamation, which was pointed out by Professor Nishad. So just compare Bangladesh taka one taka per ton kilometers, where roads the cost is 4.5 taka, and rail tariffs ranges from 2.5 to 4 taka. I'll just show you another. This is a World Bank study. The tariff per ton mile in water, it is how small you can see from the graph. It is a greener transportation. You all have already pointed out that 1 liter fuel can move 105 ton water, 5 ton of cargo in the water, whereas on the road it will only can carry 24 tons. There is a comparison. If we take a standard truck value, a 1500 ton barge or the cargo ship on our river route can carry the similar amount of trucks of almost 60 trucks we need. This is an example how economical and greener would be the utilization of freights through water transportation. But in 2007, the World Bank study showed 80% cargo were carried by road, 4% by rail. The red color is on 2007 study. And sir, you can see here the black color. I have the BIWT have done one study in 2019. that shows that somehow we have increased our inland water transportation part 25%, but it is not at all enough. But one challenge is, you see, the development of inland water transportation or water resources management. Just I would like to draw your attention on the leftmost column. This year's budget, if you look, road transportation 28,000 crore, Ministry of Railway 13,000 crore, Ministry of Shipping, including the seaports and all those, 4,000 crore. And if you look on the final, the last row, Ministry of Water Resources, only 6.8 thousand crore. So you can see the how importance we are giving, or how much we are careful on the development of inland water or water resources. Someone might say we are not smart in expending the budget allocated, but I would like to draw your attention. This is a very, very busy slide. I'm sorry for that, but row number 11, 12, and 13, it is in Bangla. I'm sorry for the foreigners. You see 99% budget, or more than 99% in 18-19 financial year, but we have some lacking done in due to COVID in the last to last financial year. And last financial we could revive again 96+% budget we could utilize. So if we get more demands for the development of the water sector, definitely we can show that our performance. Sir, here some of the challenges that inland water transport sector we are facing. I'm not elaborating on that, already covered. But the thing is, few development partners are interested, the last point. And also in the red color, you see, we need 1.5% of GDP to be allocated. Now we have only budget allocation 0.3 or 2.4% of GDP, but we need for a better outcome 1.5% of the GDP. Sir, these had been discussed very elaborately. The capital dredging, the challenges that we face, dredge material management, of course, then the river bank for dying rivers, erosion, insufficient vertical clearance. I'll show some pictures. Then maintenance dredging, again, dredge material maintenance, the management, the high recurrent dredging means every time the siltation is going on, and high velocity current, our dredgers cannot stand during especially the monsoon. These are the challenges that already mentioned, that how much ignorance or how much negligence we have done to destroy our river routes. But now government are having a very strict posture on that. This is a good news, sir. I would like to draw attention of Professor Nishat, sir. In Kongsho River in the Sylhet area, you know, sir, how the agricultural land, the land reclamation in 2018 we started, and this is the picture now, sir. The Kongsho River on right bank. Now the green fields on the villages. The whole village is made about the agricultural land. In this year, the 2020 picture is that. And Tulai River, as I have said, we have started working. It is a dried up river, and now this is the picture. 1 year effort we could bring out in this manner. This year, in the dry season, always water was there available in Tulai. Dredge, but we don't have enough capability. These are the red dots are showing at present our dredger deployment, including our private dredgers, BIWTA, Water Development Board, and private dredgers. These are the area we could cover, but we have heavy demand, especially in the narrow channels where cargo movement is very important. So our capacity is day by day, with the support of the government, is increasing. You see here, almost we have achieved to the maintenance and capital capacity all together, and it is increasing day by day. Now we have 45 dredgers in our inventory, and hopefully by 2025 we'll have 80 dredgers. The potentials or opportunities are there for the business community. I must say that 100 industrial zones are coming up, special economic zones. Those will be we will be able to connect by rivers. So you may invest river transportation. These are the same points, lot of opportunities. So the private investment is always encouraged. And also the foreign, you can bring the foreign partners for doing this job. I would like to have comment on Professor Nishad sir. These are the transboundary river. How best we can utilize this is a challenge and also opportunity. How best we can mitigate. I think during discussion session you can highlight on that, the 53 transboundary rivers. For transparency, there is a lot of hype that dredging is happening under water. Nobody can see what is happening, but we have brought real-time dredge monitoring system, which very soon we will be utilizing on all our dredgers. Even you can see in your mobile using apps. We are trying to do that. Maybe within 2 to 3 years time, it will be available. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me the floor and share my idea.
Thank you.
That's all. I think during this session you can put up. If I have taken more time, sorry for that. Thank you, sir.
It's perfectly fine. You have shared a lot of valuable information on behalf of the government, and we are happy to know that the water industry has been able to fulfill the allotment of 96% allocation of the budget, which goes to show that even though the annual development plan of last year, the total implementation was 46% up until May last year. I don't have the latest report. So therefore, I would like to draw the attention of the Honorable Chief Guest and the Honorable Special Guest present here today that there should be more allotment for this sector because they have been successful in implementation. So that goes to show that they have been working hard. But needless to mention, Bangladesh is still dependent on the road transport system, as you rightly said, and only 25% is dependent on the inland waterways. But I believe that inland waterways being the cheapest model of transport, and it also adds to the much talked about the traffic conditions and the road issues of the transport movements of all these industries that would also take the pressure off the road to the waterways. So definitely that is something that can be noted. We have an honorable parliament, 2 honorable parliamentarians here today, and they should take this into the parliament regarding an allocation that will help us move from the traffic from the road to the water transport. We have, I would like to bring in just 2 minutes from the floor. We have with us today the Managing Director of Energy Pack, Mr. Engineer Nurul Akhtar, who is also the convener for the Standing Committee on National Infrastructure of DCCI, which has organized today's webinar. So, Mr. Akhtar, over to you. I would like to keep you short within 2 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Rejuan, for giving me the opportunity. I will not take much time, just focus on the spoil management of our honorable key speaker, how it can bring the commercial impact while the dredging are in operation. Normally, the rivers have a benchmark area government. So when the operation completed, this normally goes under the custody of local influential or land grabber. So I will put a recommendation that we can think of inclusion of community structure housing along the riverside with a provision of road connectivity, and also the private housing when the project will be delivered PPP or private inclusion. With this type of inclusion, the 2 things will be developed. One is the economic development will be expedited in that area. Secondly, the social inclusion will be included. And if the well-planned structure done, then we can think of double level housing, which will help us during the flood area. And also the private housing business activity will be expedited. So social inclusion, ecological balance, and economic development, 3 in 1. If we in future we can think and include this suggestion. Thank you very much, Mr. Rejuan, for giving me the window.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your timely deliberation. Thank you very much. We have pretty much wrapped up at this point of time. Before moving on to our honorable special guest and chief guest, we have with us our coordinating director of the specific committee, my colleague in the board of DCCI, Mr. Khairul Majid Mahmood. Sir, over to you just to share some light. Please unmute. Yes, you're audible now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, please.
Mr. President, thank you for arranging this webinar. And I think it's a wonderful thing. Honorable Minister, distinguished speakers, keynote speaker, Senior Secretary, Mohiddin Bhai, and others. One thing we all know, what are the constraints of this government? Today's topic is very relevant, the challenges and way forward. We have all the data, you can punch into internet and find out. See, 24,000 kilometers was our riverine. Now it came to 6,000 kilometers during monsoon and 3,600 in lean period. And I believe that for us, for economic sustainability, for us to graduate to middle income economy, our waterways and railways has been identified as key sectors. Like Commodore Sadek very nicely presented his documents, and where it says the cost effectiveness of transportation, green transportation. I understand, and I like to commend the Honorable Minister that 2012 there was initiative has been taken to dredge 53 rivers. I believe capital dredging. I understand as a layman, I understand capital dredging is pretty much wherever dredging was done. So they go and identify places and do dredging. One of the limitations which I see nowadays in the last budget, they have added taxes 5% when there was only 1%, and then 15% VAT. So the private sector will shy away. We need 500 dredgers. Now government sector and private sector together, we have only 156 dredgers altogether. Like the Commodore said that BIWTA will procure another 40 in coming years. So these 500 dredgers we require right now. And when the last budget government has increased 5% advance tax, then 4% such and such, altogether it comes to 29% of tax. So the private investors will shy away. Beside all these limitations, I would ask the Honorable Minister that today's our topic is challenges and how to do sustainable dredging. One thing I would like to concentrate that sustainability of the river dredging, there are questions about transparency in the spending, monitoring of the projects, quality of the work, accuracy in measuring silt being extracted from the rivers. This I would tell, besides he is very successful minister and the initiative he has taken. And this tax thing, I don't know if he'll be able to fix this year. 4% advance tax, 5% advance income tax, 15% VAT, altogether it comes to 29%. So that makes a big difference. And we need private sectors also these tax benefits where we can import and go into the business. I'm sure Mohiddin Bhai will agree with me because he is owner of dredgers and he is in this business as well. And this VAT and things takes up the cost from 180 crore to 300 crore. I believe Commodore Sadek will agree with me. So besides all the government constraints, I understand the minister has his own limitation, government has their limitations. We are a country, we must allocate funds where it is available, and our Prime Minister is trying hard and we have a dynamic minister. I'm sure these problems will be resolved. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you, Khairul Bhai, for your valued remarks. Of course, we had the full attention of the Honorable Minister, Honorable Member of the Parliament, as well as our Senior Secretary. I believe that we have heard the views of the entire private sector community. Also, recommendations of the public sector from BIWTA. We have heard academicians, we have heard research and think tanks. At this point of time, I would like to bring in our Honorable Senior Secretary, the Ministry of Water Resources, Mr. Kabir bin Anwar, to give his valued remarks. Sir, are you here, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I just wanted to share that I had the opportunity of attending one of the largest August gatherings of the dredging industry globally back in 2018, where the Honorable Senior Secretary made a keynote address in front of 300 to 400 people in the dredging industry of the entire world back in New Delhi, back in 2018. If you recall, and you can see that the Honorable Senior Secretary is making the keynote address here. So thank you, sir, for your interest and your promotion globally across the world. And now at this point of time, you have heard the views of all the speakers today. We would like your guidance towards how to go about in the private sector.
Thank you. Respected Chief Guest, Mr. Khalid Mahmood Chaudhary, MP, the Honorable State Minister for Shipping, special guest, keynote speaker, and I should say, my mentor, Honorable Professor Dr. Ainul Ishad, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to DCCI for inviting me at the webinar, which is Sustainable River Dredging, Challenges and Way Forward. Well, lots of words have been said already. Special thanks to the keynote speaker, Dr. Ainul Ishad. Sir always inspires us and given us the right direction. We have today talked about river dynamics, the river training, difference between river training and dredging. We have discussed about the sediment behavior, the character and dynamics of the river. We have talked about transboundary rivers, discussed about cross dams and land reclamation. We have talked about capacity building, which is very important because the task the Honorable Prime Minister has given to us, I think, to face those, to finish, to comply with the tasks, with the goal, we need to build our capacity much more now that we have. We have some of the speakers have said about communication gaps with the private sector. Of course, we have some. We have discussed about environmental impact assessment, the sediment management plans and rules, the problem with the Balu Mahals, and we have seen that lots of illegal encroachments in the river and canals. So the legal aspects comes forward. We have to face lots of civil cases. We have discussed about capital dredging and maintenance dredging, and as a whole sediment management plan. And if we talk watershed management and basin-wide river management. So if we put all this together, it comes out that we need to have a holistic approach, actually. Fortunately, now we are I should say the fortunate people, because we are under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister, the daughter of the father of the nation, Sheikh Hasina, actually, who has declared 100-year Delta Plan. If I talk about holistic approach, then Delta Plan actually speaks everything. The Honorable keynote speaker, as I know, that he was one of the key person to make this Delta Plan, and as well as the Netherlands different departments and organizations, as well as in Bangladesh, IWMC, EJS. I was also involved a little when I was in the Prime Minister's office with this at the initial stage of the formulation of the Delta plan. So I had some idea before. Now, on ground, what we are facing. Now, on ground, as mentioned by one of the speakers very rightly, that we need actually 500 dredgers, the task we have now. But altogether, we have 150 or 56 or something like that. Altogether, private and public sector altogether. And the capacity, not only in terms of the number of the dredgers, in terms of the other hydrodynamics issues, hydraulic issues like the capacity of the training of the dredger masters and people work with the dredgers. We are less behind, far behind. So we have to build the capacity also. And another challenge that we are facing is that, well, whenever the BIWTA or other departments dredge some places or areas, especially the BIWTA, they normally takes care about the waterways, the navigability, to ensure the navigability of their major water routes. But you see, whenever the issue of the water resource ministry is concerned, is not only the maintain the economic corridor or the waterways or to ensure the navigability. We have to when we formulate our project, we look into the agricultural issue, the livelihood of the people, the fisheries, the aquatic life, the river erosion, river bank protection, irrigation, land reclamation, and of course, river stabilization. As the Honorable Prime Minister used to say always, that you need to have maintenance dredging. Well, here comes the concept of capital dredging, maintenance dredging, or river training, or river dredging. I would like to mention here for especially to Dr. Anil Research's query, that we have started some works doing for capacity building. We have already submitted one proposal for a hydrological training and research institute in Dhaka. And for this, we have already signed MOU with the Delft Engineering, Hydraulic Engineering, IH Delft. Also the Delta RS of the Netherlands signed MOU for their, they are going to help us to finalize the curriculum and other things, basically technical support. For the excavation of small rivers and canals, one project is going on, which covers 64 districts and 500 upojelas. Every upojela we have one, and district headquarter one. That has been done already 75% of the project because of the COVID and other, especially last year flood. We are a little behind, but now we are covering up. I hope that this year this project is going to be finished. And we have submitted another project which is about altogether, as per our from Water Resource Ministry, our data, altogether we have about 8,000 or more the small rivers and canals. So the second phase, we have submitted a proposal of about 2,700 small rivers and canals. And we are taking this project very carefully, EIA, especially the pre-work measurement. And according to design, we are making design first and then going for the excavation. And with this, the ongoing project, we have already opened up about 1,000 kilometers of waterways, rural waterways. These are mostly in the rural areas, these canals and canals. Also, we have addressed the ponds, bills, howls, and bows. We have the one study is almost done, is going on under the, with the help of the CGS and IWM. The 88 bills and howls, we are going to take projects after the study. And as Dr. Anusha has mentioned correctly, for the even pure drinking water of the southern part of the coastal area, coastal districts and upazilas of Bangladesh, we have taken one project, as he has mentioned correctly. For Mongla, we are huge water reservoir we are going to excavate. We are going to build one huge reservoir, and altogether about 25 upazilas, altogether about 69 big ponds we are going to excavate for rainwater harvesting. And then we will hand it over to the Public Health Engineering Department for distribution of the water. Also, for the institute I talked, we have hydrological part, also the different laboratories, as Dr. Anusha has mentioned about the sediment behavior, because this is very important for the dredging component, and there will be lots of sediment labs and other labs also, simulator for the dredging department. For the infrastructure department, there will be also workshops and areas that we taught, and also we are going to for physical modeling of the big rivers, we are going to build a longest flume in the world, which would be about 700 meters long, so that we can also have the impact of the we can have the physical modeling, because for Padma, one project, we have already seek help from the Delta RS Netherlands, but they said that they cannot do it because of this. The river is so big, they don't have that much long flume to to study the impact. Anyway, we are very much in line with the capacity building. Also, we are lots of now engineers, but not not the mechanical engineers. So we are appointing mechanical engineers also. And for the training already is going on, but we have proposed for a complete training and research institute, which will be which includes even the water diplomacy, if we say that would be also included in that institution. Anyway, for the way forward, or the participation of the private sector, I would like to say a few words. Especially the private sector should have to come forward, because as I said, the Honorable Prime Minister always said the maintenance of the capital raising would be done by the departments, and the maintenance, the big projects also by the contractors, and the maintenance would be done by the departments. So the capital raising for the contractors, for the private entrepreneurs, private sector, and maintenance raising for the departments. I think that should be the way out for have a comprehensive and holistic approach to dredging things. And thanks once again, Dr. Ainul Nishat, for focusing on especially on the environmental issues, because if we look at the food chain of the whole environment, the dredging and the planktons and other aquatic lives lives in their habitat in the riverbed, that we have to see carefully that we don't destroy the natural ecosystem of Bangladesh. As he has mentioned correctly about the natural spawning grounds in the riverbed of Brahmaputra, Jamuna, and Padma also. I found one in Padma near the Koraimukh, which is a huge area, about 3 kilometers area. The normal depth of the Padma at that period of time was 3 meters average, but over there it is about 20 meters. And a huge number of dolphin, a family of dolphin, I should say, about 20-30 numbers of dolphin, Ganges River dolphin, actually, they live there, their habitat. So these also, the environmental issues also we have to look very carefully, especially as by virtue of the chair, I'm chairing the two important research institute or supportive institutes like IWMs and CEGIS. I would like to request them also in this regard to see carefully about the impact, environmental impact, whenever we take any project. And lastly, I should say we need a close cooperation with the BIWTA, especially the Water Board and BIWTA. They should sit together, especially dredging design should be made by joint efforts, jointly, so that we can not only take care of the waterways, also the river erosion, the irrigation issues, fisheries issues, and life.
Sir, can you hear us? You are cutting off.
Of the shore people, that's very important because hundreds of thousands of people living in the shore islands. So that is also very important, that we should look after the livelihood of the people. I mean, any project. And also,
unfortunately, he got disconnected. I think he's out of Dhaka, hence the connection is a bit of an issue. Anyways, if he does come back, we will bring him back again. I believe he sort of summed up the issue. At this point of time, before I invite the next speaker, I would like to apologize for making you wake up so early in the morning. Our special guest, my dearest Mohiuddin Bhai, has joined us from London very early in the morning, and he has been with us throughout today's event. At this point of time, we would like to seek his deliberations, not only as a parliamentarian, but also as an industrialist. And it is very important for us because he is directly involved both with the public and the private sector in this specific dredging industry. So we would like to hear from you your recommendations and your guidance, and also how to engage. We have seen a lot of foreign inclusion today. Various foreign companies have been in participation today, and they are showing interest to invest in Bangladesh, and how the dredging industry can be specialized. One request to both the honorable parliamentarians today, my personal request, if you recall what happened back in 2004, 2005, our power sector barely had any investments and we barely had any power supply. But when this government came into office, they made a special procurement act, which allowed the government to instantly award projects to reputed companies and bring in changes to bypass all these bureaucratic red tapes, which I must abruptly say to you. So definitely in the same way, in the field of dredging also, in case of water management, life underwater, which is also a very important sustainable development goal. To achieve all these, I think there should also be similar acts where the government is allowed without calling for all these tenders and all these long processes. Similarly, and they have done so in the past, and the power sector is the biggest success story that this government in the last 3 terms has shown to us. So similarly, the water sector can have a similar success story if such powers remain with these ministries as such. So my humble request to Mohiuddin Bhai to give his deliberations today. Sir, over to you. Sir, একটু unmute করে নেবেন. Thank you.
Thank you, President, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. Today's chief guest, Mr. Khalid Mahmood Chaudhary, MP, Honorable State Minister, Ministry of Shipping, Government of Bangladesh. Special guest, just we lost him, his connection, Mr. Kabir bin Anwar, Senior Secretary, Ministry of Water Resource, Government of Bangladesh, and especially the keynote speaker, Dr. Ainun Nisat, Professor Emeritus, Center for Climate Change and Environment Research. I was listening, and distinguished panelists, friends from media, and the chairman IWTA, and my brother, Mr. Khairul, has mentioned few important points. And I was listening, actually. You rightly said that we are in the government side and also the private sectors. My whole life has been, I spent in private sector development. And we have seen both sides. Especially, we learned a lot from today's very timely organized webinar by DCCI. And that's why I'm really appreciating their initiative. And we heard all of them very carefully. Especially, I must mention, especially we are bringing back the environmental issue here is a big issue. And we know we have successfully achieved the Millennium Development Goal. And we are in a way to achieving the SDG, Sustainable Development Goal. And in Sustainable Development Goal, it is very much in line with the SDG goals 6.5 and 6.6 and 14.2. It is priority list and assign the Ministry of Water Resource as a lead and certain cases co-leads of achieving this target. So here many suggestions has come up, like two important ministry is dealing with this particular matter, especially IWTA and Shipping Ministry. They're doing commendable job, and Panyunan Board, especially Water Resource Development, they're doing. There is a suggestions that they should design dredging design together. So main thing is coordination. I think there is a coordination. It has to improve. And Professor Ainun Nishat has mentioned that we are killing by unplanned dredging. We are killing the river. This is partially, we can accept. The mostly they have already brought back and ensured the navigability in the river. In many rivers by now, we have to. Our approach has to be very planned manner so that we can achieve the most of it. And in multimodal transport, already the chairman IWTA has shown in his slide that how much we can save, and it is a cheaper and environment friendly manner of transports. So we must use that. It is a country of rivers, and we are surrounded by rivers. So we have to revitalize and make the rivers usable and bring back the ecosystem in the river. I'm coming back to the other points that Mr. Khairul has mentioned regarding the tax, suddenly VAT and tax issues. It shocked the business community. It actually, this should not be the approach. I have mentioned in Parliament, this should not be erratic policy making, and inconsistency of policy is a big issue in Bangladesh, and it dent the confidence of the business community, those who are engaging themselves, and private sector is coming up in such a way. We have the capacity, and Bangladeshi private sector, as we cannot invest in outside of the country, there are a lot of restriction. We have to take permission from Ministry of Finance and central bank. So it is not easy to invest in outside. So here, money is here, private sector is here. They have enough capability to boost up this sector. They must give a good chance. I also like to mention here the tendering method, especially direct procurement method and the open tender method, which is very transparent. People are participating, and most of the cases they're going under especially the standard rate, 10% less or 5% less, this kind of things. There should be a disciplined manner, and I should recommend that only in special cases tender should be a DPM method can be followed. Otherwise, there is a disparity, and there is no discipline in this sector. So I'll ask the authority to think about it, and especially my dear brother, Honorable Minister Khalid Bhai, I draw his attention, and Kabir Anwar is a very able person. So think about it. DPM and people, those who doesn't have the dredger, they have the papers, and they're moving around and showing the papers. I have work, I can give it to you. This kind of things is happening. Please stop this nonsense so that we can go forward. So this is the way I really appreciate DCCI organizing this kind of timely seminar. And it is a very, very important seminar where government, our Honorable Prime Minister has given the nation a Delta plan, 2,100 plan. It is very much in line with that. And I believe that with the cooperation and the way government and the private sector working together in policy formulation, policy making to every aspect, I believe that private sector will come forward and government which will be a facilitator so that we can work together. Definitely, inconsistency of policy is not desirable, is not welcome by us, and it does not bring any good environment of business. Please avoid that. Still, we have time, and the Finance Ministry and NBR should reconsider this matter very seriously, because now it is 20 inches dredger, 25 inches dredger now for our, especially the port areas. Now Japanese companies and other companies are coming. We should give a fair chance to the Bangladeshi private entrepreneur. They will go with joint venture or something so that they can have a chance to develop this navigation system and ensure that ports are functioning. And this is how we should approach our cases. And correctly said that if there should be a concrete plan that capital dredging is done by the private sector or maintenance dredging, it can be vice versa or whatever, which will bring good and betterment for the country. That should be the policy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words and your vote of confidence towards DCCI in policy formulation. It is through your support and the government support, needless to mention, all the ministries, all the committees have always included DCCI in engaging the public and private sector together. We have heard your views and your guidance on the way forward. And we also believe that your deliberations in the parliament will have severe impact on the industry as a whole. And at this point of time, we have heard all our views. It is now the moment we have patiently waited for. But before that, I must admire the full patience of the 2 hours and 5 minutes of the Honorable Minister, who has been throughout listening to each and every individual. Not once has he turned away from the computer, but rather listening. Sorry, sir, I have crossed 5 minutes limit as I promised that I will try to finish in 2 hours, but unfortunately it has become 2 hours, 5 minutes. I could not interrupt anyone because everybody had very valued points for you to listen to. So thank you very much for being with us. We now humbly await to listen to your guidance and the way forward for the private sector. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, moderator sir, Mr. Rizwan Rahman. If you allow me, I say Bangla.
Of course. Absolutely.
ধন্যবাদ। বিশেষ করে ঢাকা চেম্বার্স অফ কমার্সকে যে এই ধরনের একটি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয় নিয়ে আপনারা এই ধরনের একটি আলোচনা আয়োজন করেছেন। আমার মনে হয় ঢাকা চেম্বার্স শুধু নয়, বাংলাদেশের যে কোনো ব্যবসায়িক প্রতিষ্ঠানের এটাই মনে প্রথম এই সংক্রান্ত একটি আলোচনায় আমরা বসেছি, আমার জানা মতে, যদি ভুল না করে থাকি। তো কিছুক্ষণ আগেই লন্ডন থেকে আমাদের মাননীয় সংসদ সদস্য, আমাদের দেশের একজন বিশিষ্ট ব্যবসায়ী সাইফুল ইসলাম মহিউদ্দিন, তিনি খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বক্তব্য রেখেছেন এবং তিনি যে মেনশন করলেন যে তিনি পার্লামেন্টে ড্রেজিং সম্পর্কে কথা বলেছেন। আমি তার বক্তব্যটা পার্লামেন্টে শুনেছি, তিনি এই কথাগুলো পার্লামেন্টে উপস্থাপন করেছেন এবং সেটা নিশ্চয়ই আমাদের এই সেক্টরে যারা আমরা আছি আমাদেরকে সাহায্য করবে। এখানে বক্তব্য রেখেছেন কবির বিন আনোয়ার, আমাদের সিনিয়র সচিব পানি সম্পদ মন্ত্রণালয়ের। তিনি তার অনেকগুলো বিষয় উপস্থাপন করেছেন এবং ব্যাখ্যাও দিয়েছেন। এবং আজকে যে আমাদের যে মূল প্রবন্ধ উপস্থাপন করেছেন আমাদের শ্রদ্ধেয় ডক্টর আইনুন নিশাত স্যার, তিনি মানে এই বিষয়ে তিনি শুধু বাংলাদেশ না, আন্তর্জাতিক পর্যায়েও তাকে গর্ব করার মতো আমাদের দেশে এইরকম একজন আইনুন নিশাত আছেন। তিনি সব সময় আমাদেরকে এই বিষয়ে সহযোগিতা করে যাচ্ছেন, কথা বলে যাচ্ছেন এবং সবগুলো বিষয়ে আমাদেরকে তুলে ধরছেন, আমাদের ভুল ত্রুটিগুলো সংশোধন করার জন্য তিনি উপদেশ দিচ্ছেন। তাকে আমি অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ জানাই যে তিনি সুন্দর একটি উপস্থাপনা করেছেন। এবং স্পেশালি থ্যাঙ্কস মিস্টার রবার্ট হেন্সি, PSA. He joined us. Thank you, Mr. Robert Hensi. এবং এখানে যারা অন্যান্য বক্তব্য দিয়েছেন, সাংবাদিক বন্ধুরাও অনেকেই আমাদের সঙ্গে যুক্ত হয়েছেন, আমি দেখলাম এখানে। তার মানে এই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আগ্রহ আছে। তো আসলেই অনেক সুন্দর আলোচনা হয়েছে, এখানে বিভিন্ন বিষয়গুলো উপস্থাপন হয়েছে। আমাদের BIWT এর পক্ষ থেকে কমোডর গোলাম সাদেক আমাদের যে কার্যক্রমগুলো উপস্থাপন করেছেন এবং আমাদের পানি সম্পদ মন্ত্রণালয়ের জ্যেষ্ঠ সচিব কবির বিন আনোয়ার, তিনিও ডিটেলস বলেছেন। আমি অত বিষয়ে যাব না, শুধু আমি যেটা দিয়ে শুরু করতে চাই যে জাতির পিতা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমান, যার নিরলস প্রচেষ্টা, ত্যাগ, তিতিক্ষা মধ্য দিয়ে আমরা স্বাধীন সার্বভৌমত্ব একটি বাংলাদেশ পেয়েছি। সেই বাংলাদেশে তিনি যখন পাকিস্তান কারাগার থেকে মুক্ত হয়ে বাংলাদেশে আসলেন 1972 সালে, তিনি বললেন আমাদের নদীর নাব্যতা কমে গেছে, এই নদীগুলোকে খনন করে নাব্যতা ফিরিয়ে আনতে হবে। আজ থেকে 50 বছর আগে তিনি এই কথাটি বলছেন। 50 বছর পরে আমরা এই বিষয়ে একটি সুন্দর আলোচনায় উপস্থিত হয়েছি এবং সেই সময় তিনি 7টি ড্রেজার তিনি সংগ্রহ করেছিলেন 3.5 বছরে। এবং আপনি দেখেন যে এই যে ম্যারিটাইম সেক্টরের জন্য তিনি কি পদক্ষেপগুলো নিয়েছেন। এরপরে আমাদের এই দিকে তাকে 1975 সালে 15 আগস্টে সপরিবারে হত্যা করার পরে আমরা কিন্তু এই সেক্টরে আমরা সেই ধরনের কোনো কার্যক্রম আমাদের চোখে পড়েনি। আমরা আমি উত্তরবঙ্গের মানুষ, আমরা যখন এই দক্ষিণবঙ্গে বা মূল ভূখণ্ডে বা রাজধানীতে আমরা যখন আসতাম, আমাদের সেই ট্রেনেই আসি বা বাই রোডেই আসি, আমাদের 3.5 ঘন্টা থেকে 4 ঘন্টা এই উত্তাল যমুনা পার হতে সময় লাগতো। সেই যমুনা এখন শুকিয়ে গেছে। সেই যমুনাকে নিয়ে কেউ চিন্তা করেনি। আমাদের ব্রহ্মপুত্র যেই নদীগুলো আছে, কুড়িগ্রাম একটি জেলা, যে জেলায় আমরা জানি না যে একটি জেলা 16টি নদী প্রবাহিত হচ্ছে। উত্তরবঙ্গের সেই উপর ভূখণ্ড থেকে প্রায় বাংলাদেশের 72% পানি প্রবাহিত হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশ দিয়ে। সেই পানির যে ব্যবস্থাপনার কোনো পদক্ষেপ নেওয়া হয়নি। আমরা এই যে আমাদের আইনুনিসার স্যার যে পরিবেশের কথা বলেছেন, নদীর কথা বলেছেন, এই নদীকে আমরা বলছি নদী শাসন করতে হবে। হ্যাঁ, মানে নদী শাসন করতে হবে, এই কথা থেকে কিন্তু বর্তমান প্রধানমন্ত্রী দেশরত্ন শেখ হাসিনা মানে সরে গেছেন। নদী শাসন নয়, এটা ব্যবস্থাপনার মধ্যে নিয়ে আসতে হবে এবং আমরা সেই নদী ব্যবস্থাপনাগুলো সঠিকভাবে থেকে বাংলাদেশ এগিয়ে যেতে পারে সেজন্য তিনি ডেল্টা প্ল্যান, বদ্বীপ পরিকল্পনা তিনি ঘোষণা করেছেন 100 বছরের। আমরা সেভাবেই আমরা কাজ করছি এবং আমাদের সেই লক্ষ্য নিয়ে আমরা এগিয়ে যাচ্ছি। এবং আপনি দেখেন যেটা কমোডর গোলাম সাদেক এখানে উল্লেখ করেছেন যে একটি রাজনৈতিক দল তার নির্বাচনী ম্যানিফেস্টোতে বলছে যে 10,000 কিলোমিটার নৌপথ আমাদের তৈরি করতে হবে। এটা কিভাবে করব? আমাদের তো মাত্র 7টি ড্রেজার, তিনি যখন বলছেন তখন মাত্র 7টি ড্রেজার নিয়ে আমরা যাত্রা শুরু করেছি। 10,000 নৌপথ আমরা কিভাবে করব? তিনি দায়িত্ব গ্রহণ করার পরে 2009 সালে প্রথমে 2টি ড্রেজার, তারপরে 10টি ড্রেজার, তারপরে 20টি ড্রেজার এবং পরে এখন চলমান 35টি ড্রেজার সংগ্রহের কার্যক্রম আমাদের চলমান আছে। এই যে তিনি এই সেক্টরে তিনি যে বিনিয়োগটা করলেন এবং এই বিনিয়োগটা আজকে একটা জাগরণ তৈরি হয়েছে। এই যে আমাদের খায়রুল মজিদ মাহমুদ ভাই যেটা বললেন, চন্দন ভাই যেটা বললেন যে মহিউদ্দিন ভাই এমপিকে উল্লেখ করে যে তিনি ড্রেজার সংগ্রহ করেছেন, তিনি কিন্তু ড্রেজারটা সংগ্রহ করেছেন এই 12 বছরের মধ্যেই। এর আগে কিন্তু মহিউদ্দিন ভাই ড্রেজার ছিল না, কারণ এই জায়গাটা উন্মুক্ত করে দিয়েছেন মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী দেশরত্ন শেখ হাসিনা। সেই জন্যই আগ্রহ হয়েছে, সেই জন্যই কিন্তু আজকের এই আলোচনা ঢাকা চেম্বার্স অফ কমার্স কিন্তু আলোচনাটা করেছে যে আমাদের এই জায়গাটায় আমাদের দৃষ্টি দেয়নি। মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী সকলের দৃষ্টি এখানে নিয়ে এসেছে নদীমাতৃক এই বাংলাদেশ। আজকে প্রাইভেট সেক্টরে আমাদের শত শত ড্রেজার আমাদের সংগ্রহ হয়েছে। কমোডর গোলাম সাদেক বলেছেন তুলাই নদীর কথা। তুলাই নদী একটি ক্যানেলে পরিণত হয়েছিল, সেটা ছবি দেখিয়েছেন এবং সেটাকে কিন্তু নদী বানানো হয়েছে আবার। এইভাবে আমাদের অনেকগুলো নদী আছে, যেগুলো নদী হয়তো আমরা বিনিয়োগ করছি। আমাদের যেহেতু প্রতিবেশী দেশ ভারতের সঙ্গে আমাদের অনেকগুলো, যেমন আত্রাই নদীর কথা যদি বলি, আমরা দিনাজপুর থেকে আত্রাই নদীটা আমরা খনন করে আমরা নওগাঁ হয়ে যেটা পদ্মার সঙ্গে যুক্ত হবে, কিন্তু 40 কিলোমিটার কিন্তু ভারতের সঙ্গে আছে। এই 40 কিলোমিটার কি হবে সেটা নিয়ে কিন্তু আমরা ভারতের সঙ্গে কথাবার্তা বলছি। এই 40 কিলোমিটার যদি আমরা ড্রেজিং করতে না পারি, তাহলে কিন্তু এই যে আমরা বিনিয়োগটা করলাম দিনাজপুরের অংশ এবং নওগাঁর অংশ, এই বিনিয়োগটা কিন্তু আমাদের কিন্তু কোনো কাজে লাগছে না, কারণ এটা করতে হবে। একইভাবে আমরা যেটা নতুন নতুন কতগুলো রুট তৈরি, যেমন ধুলিয়ান আপনার হচ্ছে আমাদের রাজশাহীর সঙ্গে মুর্শিদাবাদের একটি নতুন রুট আমরা করেছি, সেখানেও কিন্তু আপনার আমাদের এই ধরনের চ্যালেঞ্জগুলো আছে। আমরা চাঁপাইনবাবগঞ্জ যে মহানন্দা নদীটি যেটা আমাদের বাংলাদেশে সেই পঞ্চগড় দিয়ে ভারতের মধ্য দিয়ে প্রবাহিত হয়ে আবার চাঁপাইনবাবগঞ্জে এসে বাংলাদেশে যুক্ত হয়েছে, মহানন্দা যেটা পদ্মায় এসে যুক্ত হয়েছে, এই নদীটারও কিন্তু আমরা মানে পানি সম্পদ মন্ত্রণালয়ের পক্ষ থেকে ওয়াটার ডেভেলপমেন্ট বোর্ড তারা কিন্তু ড্রেজিং করছে, কিন্তু সেখানেও একটা চ্যালেঞ্জ, ওই যে ভারতের কিছু অংশ সেখানে ঢুকে গেছে। এগুলো নিয়ে অতীতে কখনো কাজ করা হয়নি। আমাদের যেটা করা হয়েছে ক্ষমতাকে কুক্ষিগত করার জন্য যেই কাজগুলো করা দরকার, ভারত বিরোধী একটা সেন্টিমেন্ট তৈরি করে ক্ষমতাকে ধরে রাখার যে একটা অসৎ উদ্দেশ্য, যেটা দেশকে আরো বেশি পিছিয়ে দিয়েছে। আমাদের প্রতিবেশী দেশের সঙ্গে সবার ভালো সম্পর্ক তৈরি করতে চায়, আমরা ক্ষমতা ধরে রাখার জন্য জনগণকে এই মধ্যে একটা বিরূপ একটা মনোভাব তৈরি করার জন্য এই কাজগুলো আমরা করেছি, যেগুলোকে মোকাবেলা করে কিন্তু আমাদেরকে এই কাজগুলো সম্পাদন করতে হচ্ছে। আপনি জানেন যে এই 12 বছরে আমাদের যে কানেক্টিভিটি, আপনারা ব্যবসা করেন, আপনারা জানেন কিভাবে বেড়েছে। আমাদের যে প্রতিবেশী রাষ্ট্রের সঙ্গে আমাদের কিন্তু লিগ্যাল কানেক্টিভিটি ছিল না স্থল বন্দর দিয়ে। 2001 সালে ল্যান্ড পোর্ট অথরিটি, সেটা মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী সেই সময় প্রধানমন্ত্রী থাকা অবস্থায় তিনি এই অথরিটিটা করে দিয়েছিলেন। কিন্তু পরবর্তী 2001 সাল থেকে 2006 সাল পর্যন্ত এটা 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 এই অথরিটির কোনো কাজ হয়নি। এটা শুধু ভাগাভাগি হয়েছে। তো কাজেই তেমনই ভাবে এই যে সেক্টরে যেটা আপনি বললেন যে কোনো ধরনের স্বচ্ছতা ছিল না আমাদের এই ড্রেজিং এর ক্ষেত্রে, আমরা সেই স্বচ্ছতাগুলো ফিরিয়ে আনছি। আমি যখন আমাকে নৌ পরিবহন মন্ত্রণালয়ের দায়িত্ব দিল, তখন এখানে আমাদের মাননীয় সংসদ সদস্য মহিউদ্দিন ভাই আছেন, কমোডর গোলাম সাদেক তখন ছিলেন না, তখন কমোডর মোজাম্মেল ছিলেন সেখানে। আমরা সারা দিন ব্যাপী একটা ওয়ার্কশপ করেছিলাম হোটেল ইন্টারকন্টিনেন্টালে, এবং কিভাবে আমরা এই কাজগুলো এগিয়ে নিতে পারি। এই যে টেন্ডারিং প্রক্রিয়া যেটা বললেন যে ডিপিএম, ওপেন টেন্ডার টু এনভেলপ যে ইয়েটা, তো আমরা সেখানে কিন্তু একটা সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছিলাম যে অনেকেই আছে হিউজ পরিমাণে কাজ নিয়ে সেটাকে আবার সাব কন্ট্রাক্ট দেওয়ার একটা প্রক্রিয়া করে, এই ধরনের একটা কার্যক্রম ছিল। আমরা বলেছি, সেখানে সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছি, মহিউদ্দিন ভাই সেখানে উপস্থিত ছিলেন, যে ড্রেজার যাদের ফ্রি আছে, যাদের ফ্রি ড্রেজার আছে তাদেরকে ফার্স্ট প্রায়োরিটি দিতে হবে, এবং যারা অতীতে যারা কাজ পেয়েছে তাদের কাজ সম্পাদনের যে হারটা কি পরিমাণ আছে, আমরা কিন্তু সেগুলোও কিন্তু এই টেন্ডার প্রক্রিয়ার মধ্যে নিয়ে এসেছি, এবং সেভাবে আমাদের কার্যক্রম কিন্তু চলমান আছে। কাজেই আমরা এই যে মেরিটাইম সেক্টর রিভারাইন 10,000 কিলোমিটার করার ক্ষেত্রে আমাদের গোলাম সাদেক সঠিকভাবে বলেছেন আমরা কি কাজগুলো করেছি এবং কত কিলোমিটার নতুন এবং পুরাতন রুট সংস্কার করে আমরা করেছি। প্রায় 2,500-এর উপরে আমরা নতুন রুট এবং পুরাতন রুটগুলো আবার নতুন ভাবে চালু করেছি, এখানে করেছি। সবচেয়ে বড় কথা যে আমাদের আমদানি রপ্তানির ক্ষেত্রে যে আমাদের এই যে মেরিটাইম সেক্টর, সেখানে একমাত্র আমাদের ছিল এই চট্টগ্রাম বন্দর, এবং সেটা এত বেশি মানে জটিলতা ছিল, মানে এত মানে পরিধিটা এত ছোট ছিল, যেটা আমাদের ব্যবসায়ীদের জন্য বিরাট একটা বিড়ম্বনার কারণ হয়ে গিয়েছিল। আজকে আমরা বিকল্প যে মংলা বন্দর, আপনি জানেন প্রায় 150 কিলোমিটার এই পশুর নদীর চ্যানেল, আমরা আউটার বার ইতিমধ্যে ড্রেজিং করেছি 10 মিটার, আমরা ইনার বারে ড্রেজিং করছি, সেটা হয়তো আগামী বছরের শেষের দিকে আমরা পেয়ে যাব। তাহলে এখানে আমরা 9.5 মিটার ড্রাফট আমরা কিন্তু জাহাজ জেটিতে আনতে পারছি, মানে চট্টগ্রাম বন্দরের সমপর্যায়ের সক্ষমতা আমাদের মংলায় আসছে। আমাদের পায়রা বন্দরের ক্যাপিটাল ড্রেজিং ইতিমধ্যেই আমাদের শুরু হয়ে গেছে, যেটা 65 কিলোমিটার। এটা নিয়ে আমাদের আইনুন্নিসা স্যারের সঙ্গে অনেকবার আমাদের আলোচনা হয়েছে, কর্মশালা হয়েছে। যাই হোক, ফাইনালি আমরা একটা কিন্তু ওয়ে বাইর করেছি যে কিভাবে এটাকে, আমাদের প্রায় 11,000 কোটি টাকার এই প্রকল্পটা ছিল পিপিপি মডেলে। আপনারা শুনলে নিশ্চয়ই খুশি হবেন, বাংলাদেশ যে অবকাঠামো উন্নয়ন যে তহবিল বাংলাদেশ ব্যাংক তৈরি করেছে, ফার্স্ট প্রকল্প হচ্ছে যে ক্যাপিটাল ড্রেজিং পায়রা রামনাবাদ চ্যানেলে। সেখানে প্রায় 6,000 কোটি টাকা আমরা কিন্তু বাংলাদেশের পয়সা আমরা কিন্তু এখানে মানে রক্ষা করতে পেরেছি। মানে 11,000 কোটি টাকার প্রজেক্ট এখন 5,000 কোটি টাকায় চলে এসেছে। কাজেই এগুলো কিন্তু এই যে আমাদের আমলাদের বা সরকারি কর্মকর্তাদের কথা বলা হয়, এই কাজগুলো কিন্তু আমাদের সরকারি কর্মকর্তারাই কিন্তু তাদের সক্ষমতা দিয়েই কিন্তু করেছেন। এই 6,000 কোটি টাকা যে বাংলাদেশে যে রক্ষা করেছেন, এটা কিন্তু তারাই এই নেগোসিয়েশনটা করেছেন। আজকে হ্যাঁ, আগে বঙ্গবন্ধু যেটা বলেছিলেন যে সেই মামদত্তা আমলের আমলাতন্ত্র দিয়ে বাংলাদেশ চলবে না, হ্যাঁ, এটা কিন্তু বঙ্গবন্ধুকে হত্যা করার পরে মামদত্তা আমলের নয়, আরো বেশি আমলা নির্ভর করে ফেলা হয়েছিল। দিস ইজ ফার্স্ট টাইম মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী দেশরত্ন শেখ হাসিনা তিনি কিন্তু এই যে মানদত্তা আমলের যে আমলাতন্ত্র, সেটা কিন্তু তিনি দূর করে বাংলাদেশের যে সিভিল সার্ভিস সেটা কিন্তু প্রতিষ্ঠিত করেছেন। আপনারা দেখেন, আপনারা নিশ্চয়ই এখানে আমার অলমোস্ট সবাই আমার সিনিয়র মানে আছেন আপনারা, আমি দেখি নেই। আমি মফস্বল এলাকায় লেখাপড়া করেছি। একজন ডিসি যখন উপজেলা শহরে যেত, সেই উপজেলায় কিন্তু খবর হয়ে যেত। একজন বিভাগীয় কমিশনার যখন যেত একটা জেলায়, পুরো জেলায় কিন্তু খবর হয়ে যেত। হ্যাঁ, কিন্তু সচিবদের তো দেখা পাওয়া খুব কঠিন ব্যাপার। কিন্তু আপনি দেখেন মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী যে সরকারি কর্মকর্তাদেরকে দেশপ্রেমে কি পরিমাণ উদ্বুদ্ধ করেছেন, যে একজন সচিব জেলা পর্যায়ে গিয়ে কাজ করছে, সে তিনি কখনো আনইজি ফিল করেন নাই যে আমার যেখানে আমি ইওনো ছিলাম, ডিসি ছিলাম, বিভাগীয় কমিশন, আমি আবার ওইখানে গিয়ে কাজ করব। এই কথাটা নিয়ে কিন্তু ওই মানদত্তা আমলের যে সব আমলারা ছিল অবসরপ্রাপ্ত, তারা অনেকে ক্রিটিসাইজ করেছে এই সচিবদেরকে জেলা পর্যায়ে, যে এই প্যান্ডামিকের মধ্যে কাজ করার যে দায়িত্বটা দেওয়া হয়েছিল, অনেকে ক্রিটিসাইজ কিন্তু বাট আজকে কিন্তু এই জায়গাটা তৈরি হয়েছে। আমাদের মিলিটারি ব্যুরোক্রেসি যেটা ছিল সেটা কোন পর্যায়ে ছিল, কিভাবে ছিল, সেটা আমরা সকলেই জানি। আজকে আমাদের এই যে সেনাবাহিনী বলেন, নৌবাহিনী বলেন, বিমান বাহিনী, তারা কিন্তু এখন জনগণের সঙ্গে কাজ করছে, এবং যে কোনো দেশে যে কোনো সময় তারা কিন্তু সেখান থেকে বেরিয়ে আসছে। আমাদের আইন শৃঙ্খলা রক্ষাকারী বাহিনী সেম। তো এই যে একটা ইউনিটি বাংলাদেশে তৈরি হয়েছে, আপনারা যারা ব্যবসায়ীরা আছেন, এই প্যান্ডামিকের মধ্যে মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী আপনারা যখন যেভাবে বলেছেন, তিনি কিন্তু সেভাবেই উদারভাবে আপনাদের পাশে দাঁড়িয়েছেন। গতকালকেও আমি দেখলাম যে ব্যবসায়ীদের পক্ষ থেকে বলা হয়েছে যে রপ্তানিমুখী কলকারখানাগুলো খুলে দেওয়ার জন্য তাৎক্ষণিকভাবে মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী ক্যাবিনেট সেক্রেটারিকে বলেছেন যে তাদের এই বিষয়টা যৌক্তিক, রপ্তানিমুখী কলকারখানা কিন্তু খুলে দিয়েছে। তো কাজেই মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী চান যে শাসন নয়, দেশের সেবক হিসাবে কাজ করার জন্য, এবং তিনি সেইভাবেই কাজ করছেন, সবাইকে ঐক্যবদ্ধ করেই তিনি কাজ করছেন, লাইক ফাদার অফ নেশন বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমান। কাজেই আমরা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমানের জন্মশত বার্ষিকী, স্বাধীনতার 50তম বার্ষিকীতে দাঁড়িয়ে আমরা শুধু বলতে চাই, নদীমাতৃক এই বাংলাদেশ, সমুদ্র বেষ্টিত এই বাংলাদেশে রক্ষা করতে গেলে যেই বিষয় নিয়ে আমরা আলোচনা করেছি এবং আইনুন নিসা স্যার যে উপস্থাপনা করেছেন, আমাদেরকে সেদিকেই যেতে হবে, এবং সেইভাবেই কিন্তু সরকারের দৃষ্টিভঙ্গি আছে। সীমাবদ্ধতা আছে, বলার অপেক্ষা রাখে না, কারণ আমাদের অনেক চ্যালেঞ্জ আছে। আমরা এবারের এই প্যান্ডামিকের মধ্যে দেখলাম যে আমাদের স্বাস্থ্য খাতের একটা বিরাট চ্যালেঞ্জ আছে। আমরা কিন্তু খাদ্যের স্বয়ংসম্পূর্ণতা অর্জন করেছি। আমাদের শিক্ষা একটা চ্যালেঞ্জের মধ্যে পড়ে গেছে। আজকে যেইভাবে এই প্যান্ডামিকের শিক্ষা প্রতিষ্ঠানগুলো বন্ধ আছে, আমরা জানি না আগামী দিনে আমাদের জেনারেশন কোন পথে যাবে। তো কাজেই জেনারেশন যদি আমরা ধরে রাখতে না পারি, এই যেই আলোচনাগুলো করছি, আলোচনাগুলো আমাদের খুব সুবিধাজনক জায়গায় যাবে না। কাজেই আমাদের খুবই জরুরি বিষয় হচ্ছে এখন আমাদের হেলথ এবং এডুকেশন। এটার প্রতি আমরা যদি এই চ্যালেঞ্জটা যদি আমরা ওভারকাম করতে পারি, তাহলে এই যে ড্রেজিং, এখানে মডারেটর আমাদের ঢাকা চেম্বার্স অফ কমার্সের রেজওয়ান রহমান স্যার, তিনি সুন্দরভাবে বলেছেন যে সরকার চেয়েছে বলে বিদ্যুৎ সমস্যার সমাধান হয়েছে। তো এটা কিন্তু তখন একটা চ্যালেঞ্জ ছিল। আমরা যখন পার্লামেন্টে 2009 সালে সংসদ সদস্য হিসেবে পার্লামেন্টে গেছি, সব পার্লামেন্টে একটাই দাবি ছিল যে বিদ্যুৎ দিতে হবে। সেই সময় তিনি যে বিদ্যুতের ইয়ে করলেন, যে সেটাকে কি বলে,
স্পেশাল প্রকিউরমেন্ট অ্যাক্ট যেটা,
হ্যাঁ, যে সেটা করলেন, তখন কিন্তু অনেক সমালোচিত হয়েছে। তখন বলা হয়েছিল যে বাংলাদেশের ইকোনমি ধ্বংস হয়ে যাবে। ইকোনমি কিন্তু ধ্বংস হয়নি, ইকোনমি এগিয়ে গেছে। তো আমরা পাওয়ার চ্যালেঞ্জটাই মোকাবেলা করেছি, জ্বালানিটাও আমরা মোকাবেলা করছি, এবং আমাদের এখন সারপ্লাস হয়ে গেছি আমরা। কাজে আমরা মনে করি, যেহেতু মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী এই ডেল্টা প্ল্যান দিয়েছেন নদীমাতৃক এই বাংলাদেশকে রক্ষা করার জন্য, এগিয়ে নেওয়ার জন্য, আমি মনে করি যে আজকের যে আলোচনাগুলো আমাদের প্রবন্ধ থেকে এসেছে এবং আপনারা যারা উপস্থাপন করেছেন, এগুলো অবশ্যই আপনারা এটা ফর্মুলেট করে আমাদের কাছে আমরা দিবেন। আমরা নিশ্চয়ই আজকের আলোচনা থেকে আমরা যেই বিষয়গুলো আমাদের দেশের এবং এই ড্রেজিং এর ক্ষেত্রে এবং এই নদীকে রক্ষা করার ক্ষেত্রে আমাদের কাজে লাগানো দরকার, আমরা সেগুলো অবশ্যই আমরা গ্রহণ করব, এবং আমরা এই সামনের দিকে আমরা এগিয়ে যাব। আমি আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠানে শুধু বলতে চাই যে আমরা যে মিলেনিয়াম ডেভেলপমেন্টের গোল আমরা কিন্তু টার্গেটের আগেই আমরা অর্জন করেছি, এবং আমাদের যে এসডিজি সেটাও কিন্তু আমরা এখন গ্রাজুয়েশন ইয়েতে আছি। তো আমরা সেটাও আমরা অনেক আগেই আমাদের সেটা অর্জিত হবে আমরা আশা করছি। কাজেই আমরা যদি এই কমিটমেন্ট নিয়ে মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী যে দেশ পরিচালনার যে কমিটমেন্ট, সেই কমিটমেন্টগুলোকে যদি আমরা সকলে অনুসরণ করি, তা আমরা মনে করি যেই সংকট নিয়ে যেই বিষয়গুলোকে এগিয়ে নেওয়ার জন্য আমরা আজকে আলোচনায় উপনীত হয়ে আলোচনা এখানে যুক্ত হয়েছি, আমরা আশা করি আমরা অবশ্যই সফলকাম হব। আমি ঢাকা চেম্বার্স অফ কমার্সকে আমি আবারও ধন্যবাদ জানাই, আলোচক এবং আমাদের প্রবন্ধ আলোচক যারা আলোচনায় অংশগ্রহণ করেন তাদেরকেও আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই। আইনুন নিসার স্যার তার প্রতি কৃতজ্ঞতা প্রকাশ করে সকলকে ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে আমি আমার কথা বলা শেষ করছি। জয় বাংলা, জয় বঙ্গবন্ধু, বাংলাদেশ চিরজীবী হোক।
Absolute honor to have you with us, sir. I think from your deliberations, you understand that it is a high time to improve the waterway for both industrial and socio-economic development of the country. As Bangladesh, as you rightly said, is poised to become a developing country by 2026, as well as transform into a developed country by 2041, inshallah, and while keeping the country afloat for achieving the sustainable development goals for 2030, all tapped with each other. So thank you very much for your kind words. At this point, I would like to excuse myself from the moderation, and I would humbly request my senior vice president, who has been with us also. I must mention, he is right now sitting in Toronto. Oh, God knows what time it is right now. He has been there throughout with us. I will humbly request my colleague Mobin Bhai to give your closing remarks.
Thank you, President. Am I audible? It's okay? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, President. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. On behalf of Dhaka Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I would like to take the privilege to extend my profound thanks to all of you for your valued participation and engagement in such a constructive discussion. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the chief guest, Mr. Khalid Mahmood Chaudhry, Honorable State Minister, Ministry of Shipping, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, for his enlightening remarks on dredging of waterways as well as its effectiveness in our country. It is also my immense pleasure extending a special thanks to our special guests, Mr. MD Shafiul Islam Mohiuddin MP and former presidents FBCCI, and Mr. Kabir bin Anwar, Senior Secretary, Minister of Water Resources, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, for their presence and thoughtful remarks. I'd also like to extend my thanks to the keynote speaker, Dr. Ainul Nisrat, Professor Emeritus, Center for Climate Change and Environmental Research, Brack University, who has enriched us with thought-provoking insights and learnings. Thanks also to all distinguished discussions and business leaders for valued participation. Ladies and gentlemen, dredging is important to improve the ecosystem of the rivers and sustainable waterways implementations with greater economic benefits. The discussions have already discussed different aspects of the sustainable waterways and dredging issues of Bangladesh. In order to address these issues, all stakeholders are to work together, prioritizing the SDG and Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100. Distinguished guests, the recommendations emerged from this webinar will help expedite the sustainable river dredging plan and concerned authority to take more effective decisions. Before concluding, once again, I would like to thank all distinguished guests and participants for being with us and making the event successful. Allah Hafiz. Back to the President. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mohiuddin Bhai. Thank you. Honorable Minister, thank you very much. Mohiuddin Bhai, Bisham Nan. Sorry, আপনাকে ভোর সকালে ঘুম থেকে উঠাইছি। মবিন ভাই ঘুমায়েন না, বোর্ড মিটিং আছে। Thank you, Japa bhai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Honorable Chairman BIWTA Ghulam Sadiq sir, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful session.
Thank you, Japar bhai. Japar bhai, thank you. Akhtar bhai, thank you.
Thank you.
Robert,
Thank you all.
thank you for joining us, Robert.
Thank you very much for having
Thank you
me.
all.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. দেখা হবে আবার।
Assalamualaikum, Sanjay bhai, thank you. Thank you. My special thanks to Akhtar bhai. Akhtar bhai, thank you for putting this together. Thank you for your recommendations.
I think it is one of the successful.
Absolutely. It's because of you and your coordinating director. All credit goes to you.
And the guidelines of
Very wonderful seminar, Mr. President.
Thank you, Shikdar bhai. Thank you. Thank you.
Harul bhai, thank you.
Thank you.
After guidance.
All the best.
All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
আমার পক্ষ থেকে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি মিস্টার প্রেসিডেন্ট। আপনি ঢাকা চেম্বারকে ইনশাআল্লাহ সামনের দিকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাবেন, আরো এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাবেন। ধন্যবাদ।